Now explain to the audience the accidents that you've had.
All right, actually for that many miles, not that many, because a lot of my surgeries weren't from the bike.
No.
Wear and tear. Like I've had 2 knee replacements.
Yes.
Because my knees wore out from basketball, whatever.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen. My first big crash was in the first full year I rode with the club. Okay. And on a Friday night, we were riding through the park, Columbia Park, in a pace line, and I'm somewhere in the middle, and one of the guys in the front bumps the front wheel. We're all wheel to wheel, and it did the domino theory. Boom, 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 right back. That. Well, the guy in front of me, when he went down, I went up over his bike on mine, and then I crashed on the pavement, busted up my bike, and I'm laying on my back.
And pause really fast. For those who don't understand, it's not a regular bike, right? You just can't jump off. Why? Because your feet are what?
You're clipless pedals. You're locked in.
You're clipped into a bike. Yeah.
It happens too fast.
Exactly. Keep going.
Yeah. So I'm turning around. I sit up. I don't feel any pain. I'm sitting up like this. My arms like this. And somebody comes up to you and says, "You okay?" I say, "I think so." He looks at my shoulder. He says, "No, you're not." So anyway, I had busted a what's this?
Collarbone.
Collarbone.
Yeah.
Didn't know it. Ligaments and all kinds of stuff. I didn't know it then. So ironically, real quickly, a lady comes by with her kids in her station wagon who'd been swimming up the river. She stops. She says, "Can I help?" And he said, "Yeah, this guy needs a ride to the hospital." So they throw my bike in the back. I get in the seat, and she takes me into the hospital. And they do actually. Anyway, it turns out they put me in upstairs. They can't do it till the next morning. The next day, I had surgery, and that was the first one, first bad one. Okay, the next one. I can't remember how crash I had, but I'll think of this hip. The hip.
Man.
I'm riding and going across the bridge.
Yeah.
From Pasco to Kennewick, and when you go on the bike path halfway down the bottom, it makes a U-turn before it goes down by the golf course. And just before I got in the U-turn, my front tire did an instant flat. Boom. So then my bike just threw me down, and I was with 2 friends, Anthony and his girlfriend then, his wife now. So they picked me up, and you can take a shortcut from there down to the pavement. They carry me down, because I'm not going to call an ambulance. I won't do it. I'm hard-headed. I call my wife. She comes and gets me. I said, "Take me to the doctor's office." They take me to the doctor's office. He's in surgery in Pasco. They said, "Okay, take me over there." They take me over there, and they put me in. And because he was my good doctor who knew me real well, he had 4 surgeries scheduled that day, and he worked me in and did a total hip replacement. And the other one was in 2016. See, that was 2012. I know these dates for some reason. 16, I'm riding, and ironically, it's the first early day in November. I'd quit riding because it got cold.
Yeah.
And then we got a warm day. I thought, I'm going to go ride. Ironside. Hindsight, I wish I wouldn't have. I should have stayed inside because I'm riding with 2 guys doing a loop around Badger Canyon and coming up over Kennewick on Leslie Road, and I don't see a rock. The guys behind me said, "We saw it." Well, my vision's not as good as everybody else's. And I don't know what size it was. Maybe it was a softball size. I don't know, but I didn't see it. When I hit it, it threw me down, and I skidded. They said I skidded about 20 feet on the road and over into the curb. Well, in constant pain, a lady comes by in a car. Her, ironically, coincidental, that day I had on a club bike shirt. I have several bike shirts I wear, but they aren't all club. This is a...
You should have came in your outfit. The bike shirt and the spandex, by the way. Anyways, keep going.
So anyway, I had on a Chinook Club shirt that day. She recognized because her husband's in the Chinook Club. So because of that, she said, "That's the only reason I stopped." She stopped. She says, "Can I help?" I said, "Yeah, I need a ride to the hospital." She takes me to Lourdes, and I call my wife, and she says, "Well, she's babysitting her grandkids. I can't leave for an hour when I get there." I said, "Okay, I'll have to wait." This lady would not leave me.
Wow.
Even though they had the help there at the hospital. Yeah. She stayed until my wife got there. Anyway, they did x-rays, and I broke my scapula.
Jeez.
And I cracked 3 ribs, and they put me in the hospital. They were going to keep me overnight, but they didn't have room. They couldn't put me in overnight. They needed to put me in, they said I'd have to go in, what's the special room?
I don't even know.
Anyway, I forget. They were full, and it's either send me home or send me Richland. So they said, we'll let you go home if you promise, if you have any problems, that you don't have a wife bring you back, that you have an ambulance bring you. I said, okay, fine. So it turned out all right.
Okay.
I healed up. So that's...
So there are two that I'm thinking of. One,
I missed one big one.
Yeah, the big
one. You're 12 years old. You're 11 years old. 96.
This is the one I think about all the time.
I just got my first really good bike.
Yeah.
A carbon fiber bike. And I'm going up, I've done it before a few times, the Apple Cup in Wenatchee. And I go up there and I only get like 20 miles into the ride. And I'm going down this hill. And unfortunately, I'm daydreaming a little bit, which I shouldn't have been. Come up on a curve, 90-degree curve.
Yeah.
And when I realize it, it's too late. I'm going too fast. So all I can do is lock my brakes. I literally locked my brakes, and God is my witness. It's not my great bike handling. It was my guardian angel. But there's a rail on the other side there that I'm coming on straight on. If I hit that, and then there's a downhill, not a cliff, but kind of a steep downhill.
Yeah.
It goes about 20 feet, 30 feet, not straight down, but at a slope, brush. Anyway, if I hit that straight, I mean, you don't have time to think. You just do what you do.
You're flying.
But if I hit that straight on this way, I can't even imagine what would have happened to me and my bike.
Yeah, you're going 20 miles an hour at least, right?
Yeah, on hill, yeah. But anyway, I'm skidded, so my bike skidded this way, and it turned to the left. I hit the guardrail straight on sideways, which is the best way if you're going to hit it. That's better. That's better than this way.
Going straight over, yeah.
So I hit it this way. It shoots my body up in the air, and then my body does a 180, comes straight down on my right hip on the inside of the guardrail, which is still asphalt.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I tumble down the hill. I get down to the bottom and I get up, but I'm trying to walk. I'd probably still be there. 1990, I hope not. But anyway, I can't. I'm trying to go up the hill. Not my friends who were behind me further. They were there coming too, but on the road, I had two friends I was riding with. But two strangers saw me crash. So they came down. They're helping me up. I'll tell you how much denial I'm in. I get up to the top of the hill. I'm trying to lift my leg.
Adrenaline, right?
I'm trying to lift my leg over so I can get back on my bike to go finish this 800-mile ride. Yeah. And they have to help me. And my buddy's there by now. He says, give me your keys to my car. I said, why? He says, you're not going anywhere. You're not right. You're done. So they take me back, because it was an assistant, what do you call it? We paid for the ride. They have assistants. They put me in the back of a van. I couldn't even get in the back seat. Damn. They had to open the back doors, and I skidded in backwards and laid there like this. They got down and got x-rays.
Are you feeling it at this point? Like, when do you start realizing I am in a lot of pain?
Well, no, it's not. As long as I don't move too much, it's not too much yet.
Oh, okay.
But so then I get down to the clinic. It's just not a hospital, to a clinic. And I call my wife. I said, honey, and she says, why are you calling? So I told her I'd be home by 5. Well, this is 1 o'clock. Why are you calling me now? I said, I crashed and burned. She said, what do you mean? I said, my bike's a brand new bike. I said, my bike's fine. She said, I don't care about your stupid bike. What about you? I said, well, they took x-rays. I said, I fractured my pelvis. What do you do for a fractured pelvis? Nothing.
Just wait.
Now, but it gets worse. So my buddy now, we're 125 miles or so from home. He drives my car, my old little Subaru. I have to sit in that front seat, 125 miles, and I've still got all my bike clothes on and all that stuff. That's no big deal. With a fractured pelvis all the way home. And then the doctor says, so then I go to my doctors. I don't trust them. And he says, yeah, there's nothing we can do. Go home in 5 weeks and wait it out. It took me literally 20 minutes to walk from the couch to the bathroom. Anyway, that was my worst crash. Yeah.